Splendid Spreads.
Taste this! And here's a really interesting product we have here, Splendid Spreads. This is their Salmon Salsa Brava. And we're going to be incorporating this in a zucchini dish that you're going to see here in a moment. All right, now taking a look over here at this zucchini dish. Again, going back to zucchini, some people, my family used to call it jambot, which is the potatoes and the zucchini. But today we're going to be making a zucchini dish made with onions, some garlic, and of course, some wonderful salmon spread by Splendid Spreads. So to get started with this real simple dish, you need some olive oil. Now, I recommend you putting an olive oil in there that's of good quality. We got some red onions here and some garlic. So what we're going to do is take the garlic and smash it down. Now, for this particular dish, I know in other shows you've seen me just smash the garlic once and put it in this way. If you ever wanted to go back and take it out, that's fine. But this time what I'm actually going to do is continue to smear this garlic and smash it because this garlic is a staple ingredient for this particular recipe. So we're releasing all the flavor of the garlic by doing it, and then we're going to put it in the hot saute pan and just twirl it around a little bit. And then we're going to add our onions. Now from here it's kind of a slow cook. Even though you have a situation here where you put the onions in a hot pan, we're just going to let it slowly cook down and caramelize these onions and really release the flavor into the dish. And we go back to our dish. You should be a little heavy on the oil with this dish, by the way. And then we're going to go right over to our zucchini. What I like to do is just cut off the sides of what I'm going to use. And I don't really go that thick or that far into the core. As you can see, I don't use this at all. This to me is just, you can't use it, you know? So what I do is I discard it. Then I'll take the zucchini and just give it a dice. You know, and this seems to be a good, you know, size. You don't want them too small, you don't want it too big. We're going to be stewing this for at least maybe 15 minutes, so that's about the size that you want. We're going to look at our onions. They're looking good. Everything looks nice and caramelized and brown. Nothing's burnt. Remember, when you're using your garlic, you're putting garlic in oil, make sure it's brown. You know, never just add garlic without having it release its flavor into the oil. So this is going to go back over here. Now already it's coming together. Already it's coming together. You don't need as much oil you would as if I would have put eggplant in there. That would have soaked it up a little bit more. But you see where I'm going with this, that you have an equal amount of oil ratio to the zucchini, and nothing's going to overpower the dish at all. So just continue to cut these down as well and put them into the pan, and that's going to be enough zucchini that we're going to use now. I mean, eventually this zucchini is going to get nice and wilted. So we're just going to kind of forget about it here and hit it with a little bit of black pepper. We're going to go visit our steak right now, which smells delicious. Our zucchini is just about ready to go. So before we start this dish, we're going to put our tomato sauce in. So we got our tomato sauce in there, and that's really going to help this whole dish kind of come together. We're at the very infant stage of this. It really needs to get thickened. A couple of things that are going to help the thickening process is our cheese. But let's reduce some of the liquid first, and then we go down with our salmon spread. Really come to. This is totally my version of surf and turf here. You know, and a lot of people won't actually recognize what's in here. Again, because you're not slopping this over a steak. It's a very small portion that's going to go in the middle of this. Most people don't pick it up. They think it's crab. It's just the way it tastes, but it lends a wonderful flavor. It's got the acidicness from the tomatoes. It really cuts through the steak in a nice fashion. So let's go back and talk about the dishes here because we're ready to finish the first one here. And this is our zucchini dish. Now, there's a lot of talk about surf and turf out there. You know, lobster tail with filet mignon, but people and chefs have taken it to the next level, pulled pork and shrimp, etc. Today we're going to be doing a different version of surf and turf as well because I've taken the salmon spread and I've also incorporated it into my vegetables. We have this wonderful tomato acidic flavor that's going to cut through the fat of the steak, and it's really going to balance itself nicely. We talked about thickening this up at the very end with a little bit of cheese. So what we're going to do is add just a little bit of grated cheese. And again, when I used to do this years ago in the restaurant business, nobody knows exactly what was in it. They just like it. You know, so it's very hard to determine exactly what's in this dish, but from experience it seems to blend itself really well. So as you can see, once you throw the cheese in there, which is usually a no-no when it comes to cheese and different kinds of seafood and stuff like that. But with this dish, like I said, it complements it. So we're going to let the cheese do its thing, thicken it up a little bit. Already you smell this really incredible flavor coming off. We're just going to kind of leave that sitting here. Now, talking about our next dishes that we're going to plate here. Now comes for our main course. Now, we talked about this zucchini dish made with salmon, my version of like a surf and turf. Really unique. Now, when you're dealing with this and you're plating something like this, you don't want to go too much. Again, don't overpower anything. So what we're going to do is just take a little bit in the center here. It really smells good. You see all these ingredients being incorporated there, the wonderful flavor of the garlic. We're going to take our steak, put it just right over the top. You know, you have to kind of be in a situation where you don't want everything to roll off the plate. You want to kind of keep your mushrooms and everything else on top. And now we got our sauce. We're just going to gently over the top. This is one of these things where you want to kind of let the sauce go on a pool, but you see what the butter did to it? The butter really brought that sauce kind of together. It gave it texture, it gave it body, and it gives it a look that's really nice as well. And now, these types of sauces, now that you see 3 puddles on each side, this is going to really marry the flavors really well. Because what you're going to have is that intense beef flavor, and then you're biting into the zucchini and the acid from the tomatoes, and you're saying to yourself, wow, what combination is this? It just balances really good. And this is not the first time I've done this, so it took a little while to perfect this dish. Well, thank you for watching this fun-filled episode of Taste This TV. I'm your host, Chef Joseph Simon, and remember, there are no rules in cooking. Taste this.